Welcome to the Living with Narcissists podcast, where the first recommendation is don't. But unfortunately, that's not always possible. So this is your haven for validation, insight, strategies, and resources. So let's get started. Welcome, I'm Carrie, and this is the Living with Narcissists podcast. In the last episode, we learned about the types of traumatic childhood experiences, ACEs, that influence health and well-being throughout life. In this episode, we will learn about the ACE pyramid, which is a theoretical model developed by the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, also known as the CDC. This model illustrates the process of how ACEs can lead to risk factors for disease, disability, and early death. From conception, in utero, there is a cascading effect that begins when disruptions to neurodevelopment occur. Each developmental event builds on the previous one, creating a cumulative effect, for better or for worse. Toxic stress or extended prolonged stress from ACEs can negatively affect children's brain development, immune systems, and stress response. The long-term effects of toxic stress in children have been empirically proven to increase adverse behavioral activities that lead to health risks throughout life. There are 8 tiers in the ACE pyramid, as stated, each building on the last, creating a cumulative effect on development. The first tier is generational embodiment or historical trauma. Intergenerational trauma is the theory that trauma can be inherited. The changes from trauma do not damage the gene. There is no genetic change. Instead, they alter how the gene functions, epigenetic change. Epigenetic changes don't alter the DNA sequence of your genes. However, they can change how the genes are expressed. In Robert Sapolsky's book, Behave, he states that 95% of our genes are actually turned off until the environment activates them. The gene is turned on by adding or removing special marks to a gene's DNA. These changes can be caused by many outside stimuli, such as chemicals, trauma, exercise, diet, stressors, environmental pollutants, and folic acid. Unlike genetic changes, epigenetic changes can be reversible if the stimulus is removed. I will leave the information regarding the book Behave in the show notes in case you'd like to read it. The second tier, social conditions or local context. The ACE study focuses on adversity within a family, but external factors, including community violence and natural disasters, can also cause trauma and contribute to ACEs. The third tier is adverse childhood experiences. As outlined in detail in episode 3 of this season, season 3, adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, are traumatic events that happen between the ages of 1 and 17. The ACEs assessment focuses on traumatic experiences from physical abuse, emotional and physical neglect, and household dysfunctions. The fourth tier, disrupted neurodevelopment. Neurodevelopment is the process by which the brain develops the neurological pathways that enable it to function normally. These pathways are responsible for a person's ability to learn, focus, develop memories, and social skills. Neurodevelopment is influenced by almost everything a person does on a daily basis, such as reading, writing, listening, and watching. However, when neurodevelopment is disrupted, it can lead to abnormalities in brain formation. The neurodevelopment of the brain is affected by multiple factors. For example, heredity and environment and biology. Preterm birth, low birth weight, and poor nutrition are known to be high risk factors in children and can cause abnormalities in brain development. The fifth tier, social, emotional, and cognitive impairment. 3 key areas of study for developmental psychology are social, emotional, and cognitive development. Social development looks at how people interact with others and navigate social situations. For example, during the preschool years, children learn to take turns, share toys, share other materials, play near each other, talk with peers, talk about their feelings and the feelings of others. Emotional development studies how people learn to understand emotions, how to manage emotions, and how to calm down when distressed, how to listen to others and respond appropriately, how to develop friendships, and to be able to empathize with others and comfort others when they're distressed. Also to learn how to apologize when you're wrong and accept sincere apologies when others make mistakes. Cognitive development refers to the way a person's thinking patterns develop and how the process of thought changes as a person matures throughout childhood, adolescence, and into adulthood. So, for example, skills like memory, problem solving, questioning, and thinking that leads to understanding of cause and effect. So we can evaluate the social response we receive from our behaviors through punishment and reward. The sixth tier, adoption of health risk behaviors. Health risk behaviors are actions that can increase the risk of injury or disease, which can lead to disability, death, or social problems. These behaviors can be physical, mental, emotional, or abusive. Some common health risk behaviors include lifestyle behaviors like smoking, drinking alcohol, lack of physical activity, sedentary behavior, poor diet, and low fruit or vegetable intake. Risky sexual behaviors like sexting or promiscuous unprotected sex. Substance abuse, which would include the misuse of alcohol by binge drinking, taking illicit, illegal substances or prescription drugs that weren't prescribed to you, or driving under the influence. It also includes criminal or antisocial behavior, so physical assault like getting into a fight, trespassing, vandalism, stealing, and it also includes other more insidious behaviors such as lying, being two-faced, and manipulating others for personal gain. The seventh tier is disease, disability, and social problems. It's easy to see how the adoption of health risk behaviors would lead to disease, disability, and social problems. However, it's hard to understand why someone would continue to engage in activities that are harmful to themselves and to the people they profess to love. And that leads us to the concept of codependence, which we will discuss in future episodes. And the eighth tier is early death. The cumulative effect that ACEs have on lifespan is significant. Researchers at the United States National Institute of Health explain that traumatic experiences and PTSD might advance cellular aging mainly through oxidative stress and inflammation. Cellular aging results in changes to DNA processes, increasing the risk of a shorter lifespan. If the trauma from ACEs is left untreated, children with a high ACE score face a 20-year decrease in life expectancy. That is why this information is so important. Awareness is critical to healing and breaking the chain of dysfunction. Thank you for joining me. I hope this information is helpful. If you like my content, please choose to follow, subscribe, or provide a rating so I can share this information with more people and you don't miss out on future episodes. I look forward to sharing more in the future. Have a wonderfully peaceful day. Till next time.